G'day and welcome to the review of our big win on Saturday. And I call myself one take Bucky, and what that means is one take Bucky means I just turn on the camera and I just talk. I never stop. If I make a few mistakes here or there, or I just really don't care, I'm not one to go, oh shit, that doesn't sound good, and I've just put together a 35-minute review of this game and uploaded it onto YouTube and then realised that the sound was off. I should be more meticulous. And I'm thinking, what the hell have I done wrong? I couldn't work it out. It's never happened before. And I'd accidentally somehow pressed mute on my laptop. And I had nailed that review. It's one of those ones where you press stop at the end, and I looked at the clock and it said 35 minutes. I thought, geez, that's a long one. And I thought, gee, that's a good one. That's a review of a review, and now I have to start again. But I'm up and about, guys, and I appreciate all the well wishes when I was on my deathbed last week. In that one stage, yeah, it was touch and go whether I'd pull through. It really was. And my ability to find something is quite extraordinary. Just to lift myself. I've got incredible resilience. And in times of need, no, I'm only joking. It wasn't that bad, but I do. You get my ugly head back. The voice sounds a little bit better, and I'm feeling good. I went to the game on Saturday and thoroughly enjoyed it, and it's good for the soul. It really is good for the soul to see so many supporters so happy. One during the game, and there was a lot to cheer about, but after the game as well, and I just think it's good. Of course it's good. You know, you'd rather see that than the disappointment. And one thing I will say, though, just looking at some clips that the Carlton social media team have put together after the siren, and it's great seeing the supporters singing the song, but the amount of, I don't know if they're all kids. There's probably some adults. Throw them in there as well. The amount of signs, those cardboard sort of placards with Cripper, Doc, Welshie, Chera, Motlop. Can I please have your boots? Signs that, you know what? It was okay a month ago when maybe one person did it and got a little bit of exposure, and a few of the players took their boots off out of goodwill. But fuck, it's cringe now. It is so cringe. I sort of quite understand a little bit why kids would do it, but if you're a parent of one of those kids, and just fucking pull your head in. Seriously, tell your kids just to leave the players alone. Let them come around and enjoy it with the crowd. High five, hand a few footies out. Just getting them to take their boots off because you want a pair of boots at home. That no. And it's not like you can't afford them, because a lot of these kids are down the front. You've obviously got reserve grades. You've got the reserve seats. It's not cheap to have a reserve seat. I don't like it. I know it's a bit of a negative to start this review, but I just noticed it and it's giving me the shits. It really is. Just don't do it. Okay, it was nice at the start, but it's become really awkward, I reckon, for players to continually see those signs. I thought it was a wonderful performance, and my DM certainly did. They certainly did explode after the game. I got home, and there was a number of direct messages from people who obviously watch this channel. And I did in the preview talk about I'm looking for that win of substance, which I don't think we've necessarily had and I probably should try and define it, but I'm not going to go into it now because I think over the course of the next 6 weeks, we're going to see, or we're going to probably need a win of substance along the way. And that could be even in the finals because we've got West Coast Eagles at Marvel next week, Collingwood MCG, St Kilda Marvel, Melbourne MCG, Gold Coast away, second last game of the year, the Gold Coast Suns. That's eerie. That's eerie. That is Brett Ratton. Not that Voss is ever going to get sacked now. I mean, that was made clear even when we were going like a busted ass that he was never going to go. And full credit with this 4-week turnaround. Full credit. I always said if this is turned around, it's largely due to the coaches and their ability to get this team up and about. Obviously, the players have got to execute. But that's eerie. Gold Coast Suns away. If that is right on the line, right there and there. And then the Giants, who are flying as well. I mean, we talk about form teams of the competition and sneaky, the sleeping Giants. Look, we talk about getting teams at the right time. And I reckon we've got Port Adelaide at the right time. I really do. But I reckon we got the Giants at the right time at the start of the season. Imagine if we had to play the Giants now at their ground, but we got them early in the year where they were building. But their form is really stacking up. That was a great win at the Adelaide Oval, a great win. And imagine that coming down to the wire. We get them here in Melbourne, and I reckon we're going to need a win of substance. But what I will say, to keep underselling our wins because the opposition weren't at their best is probably a little bit unfair considering how impressive we have been. So this is what I will say. Because there was not one point in that game on Saturday that I didn't feel, and I sat with my brother who we need one more. We need to do this. He was constantly on edge about that game. I was just so comfortable. I thought we were in complete control from the moment the ball bounced to the final siren. Although there were little bits and pieces where a good side like Port Adelaide got a little bit of momentum, I just never felt uncomfortable, even when Harry went off. It wasn't like I was like, oh here we go. What I will say, what I will give for all those supporters out there who follow this channel, who think I am underselling the opposition that we have played over the last 4 weeks in this really good patch of form. And maybe we got Port Adelaide at a good time. A couple out, but Dixon, Junior Rioli, JHF, Jason Horse Francis and Mackenzie are all reasonable players and important for them. But it's not like they were decimated, and they still had a cracking side in, like a really good, strong side. Maybe the Gold Coast Suns were at their complete best. Maybe they were. Maybe Hawthorn brought their absolute best. Maybe Fremantle brought their absolute best. And maybe Port Adelaide, who are second on the ladder, have lost twice for the whole year. 13 winning streak going for 14 in a row. The only two teams to beat them were their neighbour, Adelaide, in a classic showdown, which happens, and Collingwood, who dismantled them at the MCG in round 2 by 71 points. And Collingwood they are the yardstick. They are the yardstick. Let's make no mistake about that. But if Port Adelaide are the second best team in the competition and are just rolling on for September, and we've just completely 32 scoring shots and win by 50 points, kicked 122 points and thumped them. And the stats were even, but our efficiency and synergy was just far too good. If this is real, guys, for all you real believers out there that this has well and truly turned, then we are not only playing for finals football here. It's not like we are coming from a long way back now. We are on the cusp now of of getting inside that top 8. So the expectation is 1. Anything other than playing finals now is a complete and utter, it will be a complete and utter disgrace if we now fall away and not play finals. That's how well we are going. But when you really think about it, if that 50-point win stacks up against the second best team in the competition, it just shows you how capable this fucking team is. When you show you are capable and your form stacks up, there are no outs. There are no excuses. I know Harry's out now, but good teams find a way. Good coaches find a way to change the system. There's no bullshit here, boys and girls. You know, there's no fucking now. If this does fall away and we don't get enough wins now to play finals football, there's no, we didn't quite get there, but shit, we have a lot to look forward to for next year. Nah, that doesn't cut the mustard. That doesn't cut the mustard. So this makes it so fucking exciting on so many fronts. One, the prospect of now playing finals football, but now the expectation of not only making it, but potentially going deep, because this is what this group is capable of. But now the question is, have they got the real intestinal fortitude to win some big games of absolute substance when it gets really, really, really tight? Because I don't think right now we could possibly, on this form so far, other than it being outstanding, we could honestly say that we have turned. I just don't know how you can come to that conclusion, but feel free to do that. It makes it oh wow! It makes it fascinating. It makes it really fascinating. I'm thoroughly looking forward to the final part of this season to see what this group really stands for. Really stands for when it's going to get really tight. Because I honestly believed for not one point in that game, and I know Port came in a couple of times. I don't think we were ever really challenged, and maybe that's because we were just too good. So if you think that, I just feel like we got them at a good time. But they still played okay, Port, but we got them at a good time. And I think when I really think about it, I was pretty savage on our performance against Adelaide in the gather round. But we were coming off some pretty average form, although we were winning. We just I don't know. We weren't convincing. Played North Melbourne, the Giants, and our form was just ugh. And maybe Adelaide got us at just the good time in that gather round opening game Thursday night on their home deck. Huge crowd, and they just pumped us. Yeah, and that's what happens in football sometimes. Maybe we are just getting teams at the right time and we are in really good form. That's what makes it a wonderful game, which is both physical in nature, but also mentally and emotionally one of the most taxing sports going around, because it's such a long season, a season of ups and downs and ebbs and flows, and we are right in the midst now of a really good patch. Have we come? It's fascinating. We haven't come too late now because we're there, but have we gone early? Are we playing our best football now when really we will need it a little bit later? But this team now, when you think about it, if you feel this is real, should be capable of going a lot deeper than just missing out. Well, not so much missing out on finals, but yeah, like getting in there, getting a home final, playing a Melbourne-based team in a home final, and potentially getting to at least a prelim. And maybe that winner substance comes on the road in a final. Because it's happened before. Saw the Western Bulldogs do it in 2016. They were wins of substance, guys, in 2016. But Wow, I love it. I love it. Thing I've noticed a lot, and being there and I'll get to the players shortly, but a few points that I jotted down after the game um, about this win in particular. Was one, the use of the corridor. It just, this we are attacking that part of the ground, and I'm sure teams will start to defend that a little bit a little bit better. But it's hard to defend it. But it's hard to defend the corridor if team if you go quicker. So you keep the ball in motion from your back half. So that speed of ball movement I've noticed has significantly changed. And kicking, handballing forward, or particularly kicking forward rather than sideways and backwards from our back half, and taking the game on. And that overlap run with the likes of particularly Chincotta and Kemp and Boyd, who are not setting the world on fire, but they're doing enough to compensate the fact that maybe the opposition are putting a little bit more work into Adam Sard. And that confidence grows with that trio. However, it looks like Boyd might cop it up the arse from the tribunal, which will make it interesting who we bring in if he goes out. The spread of goal kickers, it's always been a concern. It's either no duck or it's either all duck or no dinner with Harry and Charlie. But Harry going down and still finding a way to kick. What did we kick? 122 points. It's a big score. It's a big score in this day and age, and to get that spread, and it wasn't like Charlie had a day out. He played quite well, but we continue to find other avenues to goal, which is really pleasing. Um, I've noticed that, and a couple of other things I've noticed as well, which comes with confidence and belief, is this desperation to close down space and spoil those desperate lunging acts, which whether it's a smother, um, or whether that Chincotta one comes to mind, where he just came from a mile back to spoil. Um, they're sort of team lifting type things, which we haven't necessarily seen a lot of in the first and middle part of the year. And I think the big one is less reliant on star power. And we've got some genuine stars in the competition in this team, who all have little things that, can be at times detrimental to the team in regards to just, those things, like ball use or brain phase here or there. But, like we, at the moment, it's not like the Walsh, Cripper, Weeders, Charlie and Harry show. We're getting some unusual suspects sort of step up and start to grow as footballers. And I don't need to necessarily be sort of best on ground performances. And I thought Jack Silvani played his best game for the football club on the weekend. And for me, it was clearly best on the ground. But we're getting others like Gov and, the young guys down back who've just come into the team. And, Mop, for example, and also Cunningham and Fogarty, who are just spreading the load. But it doesn't need to be high possession games. It just needs to be impact, impact, which those guys are providing more than your junk sort of disposals or the sort of airy fairy games by Lockie O'Brien or a Zach Fisher. And it's just like I do feel like we are a better sort of balanced team on the back of finding that right mix. Which makes it a big test, because no Harry now, but good teams, good coaches, and I always said that, take out off the Voss if this has well and truly changed. But you're going to have to now work out a system, without Harry and Charlie together. What's that look like in the ruck? Is Pitnet ready to come back? There's some challenges ahead. Fascinating. So there's some points, guys, in regards to the way we're playing. Let's have a look at the individual performances in this game. And I mentioned Jack. I'll go in number order. I have been his biggest critic, but I've also acknowledged this year, I think I've also acknowledged that maybe there's a point in time where Jack decides during that poor patch and early that needs to go to another club because I don't necessarily think our system helps him. And we're now seeing him have some genuine impact. And I know he's been playing sort of that ruck role, and he did a little bit again on the weekend. But we're starting to see him have some genuine impact forward as centre. That was a game. That was a really good game by Jack. It's not like he can play one of those every week, but he's kicked 4 goals, 1, efficient, got in the right spots, got us going early, and a really solid 4-quarter performer. I thought he was excellent. Dow, it's funny, isn't it? Because I want him to do so well, and he got his opportunity to come on. He's had 15 disposals, but he didn't lay a tackle. There was some dude, Carlton supporter, sitting in front of me with his mates. They would have been, I don't know, in their maybe late 30s. That had a gut full of piss. And they were cheering loudly for our team, but there was a couple of stages there where Dow, he just couldn't wrap his arms around the opposition with a tackle. And I yelled out spaghetti arms, and this guy turned around and had a crack at me. Just support him. I thought, fucking turn around, mate. Fucking hell, turn around. I just want to know what he really brings to the table. Like if you're going to be a 15, 16, 17 possession player, you're going to have to make some impact. What is it? I didn't think he was bad by any stretch, but yeah, it's not a convincing performance by Paddy Dow. Although he had some nice little moments, but his tackling, I thought, on a number of occasions, he just couldn't get those skinny arms around the waist of a Port Adelaide player. Motlop had a purple patch, which was good for him. I liked the laid out, I really did, because I was always confident in this game. I never felt stressed, in control right from the start. I even felt like that before the game started. And when I saw Motlop run through the banner, I thought, what the hell's going on here? And I got on the club Twitter account, and they said there's a late out. Owies is out. I was actually genuinely excited. And he got on the end of him in that really nice little patch in that 3rd quarter. He just got front and square. He's a really sharp and clinical finisher from that distance. Whether it's around the body or a banana or whatever type of kick, he is quite classy. He needs to, I think, continue to work on his defensive backs, and that's always going to be the knock on him over the next couple of years. I reckon he looks still a little bit chunky, but maybe that's just his physique. Does he cover the ground really well as a small? But it was a really good game from Motlop, but he did sort of fade away. Chera, thought he probably had his quietest game for the year, to be honest. Just didn't really get into it. I know he came off late. Or did he play the last quarter at all? I'm not quite sure. But he just never got into it. It wasn't like he was being negated. Drew went to Cripps. So Chera he only had the 17 touches, but did lay 6 tackles. He works hard. But, like he has set a pretty high standard this year. And that was probably just a performance that, it was just a bit of a drop-off, but you prefer that in a win like that. Fogarty just continues to do his role, 6 tackles, works bloody hard. He's one that closes down space. He's one that's got not a lot of fanfare about him. Hit the scoreboard, but 11 touches, that was enough. It would be good to see him be really rewarded with maybe a 2 or 3 goal haul over the next couple of weeks or so. Cripps, big second half, couple of really big crunching tackles. Drew did a really good job on him early. Ended up having the 7 tackles and 24 touches. It wasn't a high possession game from us. Some of his ball use wasn't great, but it was a sort of a strong performance after half time by Cripps, because Port Adelaide were starting to get a little bit of ascendancy just before half time, and it was like we needed a lift either from Chera or Cripps in that second half, and we got it from Cripps. Harry went down early. That's going to be interesting to see how we structure that up moving forward. The word is he will be available to play finals, and that's what the expectations are now, which is good news. But we're going to have to do it without him if we want to get there over the next 6 weeks. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how Voss and the match committee work around that. Gov's superb, completely annihilated Finlayson. He's their leading goal scorer and thought he did a wonderful job. Some of his ball use at times, 549 metres game. Made some few mistakes here or there, but so did a lot of defenders do. I think he cops a bit from from our supporters. He's certainly causing a few headaches now for what happens post this year because he is out of contract coming off that long-term deal. And he's playing some really good football. Conning, strong, 33 hit-outs. Scott Lysett thought he had the better of Lysett. Only 13 disposals, but only the 2 marks. Took a couple of big grabs down back. It's the one down the line that he needs to work on. I did notice that Lysett was really working him over when we were trying to find that target down the line, stopping his ability to jump. He needs to work on that strength, but it was a really solid performance, and it's going to be, I suppose, it's going to be fascinating to see what his role will be now that Harry's out and the prospect of Pitnet coming back, which doesn't necessarily excite me if I'm honest. Akers thought it was his best game since the start of the year. I thought he was really good, top 3 for me. 567 metres game, worked his ring off on his wing, 24 touches, ball use, relatively good. I liked it. I liked his game because I have knocked his performances. But he showed that he's a strong player and he works fucking pretty hard, particularly defensively. Doherty, yeah, I thought his ball use was good, better than it's been. 26 touches, workman-like performance, a little bit sort of more wing and midfield, but more wing, which has become his role more since we've been able to bring Boyd, Chincotta and Kemp in and Sard across half back. It's allowed him to be pushed up the ground. Kemp probably thought of, I don't know, defensively, Lord, just too tall for him and lost his feet a couple of times, but still did some nice things. 10 disposals. Wasn't his greatest game, Brody Kemp, and you sort of keep your eye on that moving forward, whether he can really add that defensive craft to his game. He's a pretty exciting player, but if he's going to play that third tall, he's going to have to work a little bit harder defensively. Although am I being a little bit too harsh on him considering how tall that Ollie Lord was? Lord probably should have kicked 2 or 3 at the very least, but he could not hit the side of the barn. But he was a handful for Kemp. Walsh started well, but drifted out of the game. He did the job early for us. Martin, typical Jack Martin game. Doesn't look great on the stat sheet, but just provides something a little bit different. I would like to see just a little bit more from him. I really would. He's just kicked the 1 goal, 9 touches. At times, a difficult position to play. Is there a chance for him at certain times to get a sniff in the midfield at a centre bounce? Not quite sure. But they're obviously really happy with his defensive acts in the front half. Wiedering, I actually thought his last 5 weeks have been excellent. This one was just slightly down. Thought Marshall, he's got the slip on him. Made some weird mistakes. One there in the first quarter where he should have just let the ball go through from behind, but he brought the ball back in. I think Port got their first goal from. Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't. I fully expect him. Took some big grabs. Fully expect him to come bouncing back because he is in good form. But yeah, I didn't think it was the greatest game. Newman's superb. You know, we talk about Jack Silvani being the heart and soul. Well, a lot of supporters do. Well, this guy here, you hear a lot about this bloke in regards to how much he does off the field for this football club, and it shows on field as well. He just does not stop. He's a credit to what he's been able to get out of his football career, kid from Frankston who didn't get an opportunity at the draft, went to Sydney. I'm sort of glad we picked him up. I really am. He's a terrific footballer. Then he makes a few blues here and there, but he's had 9 tackles with those 23 touches. He's a ripper. He really is. I really like Nick Newman. Cunningham just continues to do those little things on the outside that just makes it really important for this team to break open that connection. Will we get a big breakout game from Dave Cunningham in this patch? I'm not looking at the Hawthorn game. I think it was where he kicked, was it 2 or 3 as the breakout game? I'm looking for maybe a 14 disposal game turned into maybe a 22, 23 disposal game and a couple of goals. I think he's got that in him, but he's doing some really good work and did it again on the weekend. Hewitt, I think he went to Rosie and who was the other one? Butters at stoppages when they were rotating through the middle and did a reasonable job. They're bloody good players, those two boys. Although Butters was a little bit down, Rosie was a handful at times with his speed. Hewitt got back to a little bit of form. 5 tackles, 19 touches. I hope he can build on that because he will need to. He will need to, particularly with games coming up against Collingwood and Melbourne and even St Kilda. Boyd, we're not going to see him. I just feel they're going to throw the book at him. Look at his kicking's been down. Not as good as what we were led to believe. I think he's a good kick, but I haven't seen it yet. I feel like, it's a part of his game. It's at the moment a little bit hit and miss, but he's doing a lot of wonderful work with his pressure and his desperation. And I think there's still a pretty good footballer inside that kid. But it's going to be one of those things where over the course of the next 6 weeks and going into next year, whether Kemp, Boyd, Chincotta, that combination, you got potentially Williams coming back, what that's going to look like moving forward. But he's going to miss at least 2 or 3. You just feel it. They feel like they're going to be savage on that tackle. Sard a little bit down, but that's okay. I mentioned before, why the reliance on Sard? Why the reliance on Cripps? Why the reliance on Charlie and Harry? Let's get others. Let's get others get involved. 13 disposals wasn't a bad game. It just wasn't one of those games where Adam Sard was all Australian last year, and we fell away. This year we're flying home, and Adam Sard's not like, he's not like shooting the lights out. He's just playing his role. And Matthew Cottrell kicked 2 goals. He's a goal kicker. He's a not so much a game changer, but he has a little impact here or there. But a low possession game with 10 disposals. But that's what happens on the wing sometimes. That's it, guys. I went for 35 minutes for my last review. It's now 33 minutes 27. I think I've done pretty well. Whether I nailed it like I nailed my first review, I'm not quite sure. I will finish on this. I will repeat. If this form does stack up, if this form is stacking up and this is what we are capable of, I'll give that to supporters who are going down that line that are saying things like, give us credit, like Porter, like it's not fair. Like if you're searching for positivity, and this, of course we've got to be positive with this, please put the fucking expectations on this football club now. You've got to put the expectations on now. It's as simple as that, because we've just beaten the second place team, the second ranked team in the competition. We've just beaten them by 50 points, and their form stacks up here in Melbourne at Marvel Stadium. It wasn't like they were severely decimated. There is no way in the wide world now that we can miss finals. If this is what we're capable of, and this is what you think we are able to produce. It's as simple as that. Not only the expectation to play finals, but we should be going a lot deeper than just scraping in and going out. Okay, this is on now. This is on. It is a wonderful position to be in. And looking at that run home, it's got some mayo. It's got some mayo, guys, right the way through, and I can't wait. This what feels like a bit of a breather this weekend against West Coast Eagles, and I'll grant that. I don't even know if I feel like even doing a preview for that. They are that dreadful. Um, but you wouldn't want to take them too lightly, and you want to keep going. But have a look at that after that. Collingwood, our nemesis, I reckon, St Kilda. Melbourne, remember what happened last year? Then the Gold Coast away, second last game, away. And then the Giants, the sleeping Giants. Wow, this is incredible. Can't wait. Speak soon.